so excited.
They said I wouldn't make it, told me I was lame, just another stupid boy that's never gonna change. They say you'll never make it, tell you all the same. Just shut up,
Shut up, shut up, and follow your dreams. Hello, hello. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to be here with all of you today. Welcome to day 4 of the Becoming a Diamond Self-Image Workshop. I've been waiting for this day all week, but I'm going to make you wait just a little bit longer, because I have an important message around the power of decision. So we're going to talk about this a little bit before we get to our huge announcement. So I just want to start off again by saying thank you to all of you. This week has just been phenomenal. I'm so very, very proud of each and every one of you in persisting and showing up and doing the work and asking the questions. So really and truly, you should be proud of yourselves for doing this because it takes commitment and it shows that you're putting yourself first. So nice round of applause. We're doing a live round of applause to each and every one of you. And so a gentle reminder, tomorrow is going to be another really special live. We're going to have a special guest, which I'll be announcing at the end, and that'll be at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Saturday is just going to be a check-in post here in the group, and so it's an accountability post. You'll comment done. And then on Sunday, I'm going to be getting vulnerable here in the group with all of you and with my community. And at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be going live just to talk about my own self-image journey and how I have truly been impacted with the material that I have been immersed in from where I was and who I am today. So we're more than halfway through. I can't believe it. So here we are. And then just another gentle reminder, there's a giveaway happening in the group. A lot of you have been asking. I'm giving away $150. All you have to do is refer people here into the group. And for each person that joins, you get a ballot for this giveaway. And so if you're enjoying this material, if you're enjoying the support and this community, please get the message out there. We want to change as many individuals' lives as we possibly can. And so I appreciate each and every one of you. So here today, we're going to be talking about the power of decision making. And you guessed it, the power of decision, making decisions, is very much closely linked with our self-image, the way we see ourselves, the way we interact within our relationships, the way we interact with the world around us. And really and truly, your whole life, hey there, Jordana, your whole life is impacted by the power and your ability to make decisions or not make decisions. It's a mental activity that only you can control. And how you manage this power in the ability to make decisions will ultimately determine your overall success, your overall health in mind, body, and spirit, your relationships, your family. All of this is dependent on your ability to make sound decisions. And again, this is something that they do not teach in schools. You do not get this in traditional education, but it's such an important mental ability to develop. So one stumbling block in making decisions is circumstance. How often have you heard people say, I would like to travel, but, etc., etc.? Well, what comes after that but, or what comes after that because, or what comes after that however, that there is the circumstance. But what you need to realize is that circumstance may cause a detour in your life. It could do that, for sure, but it should never stop you ultimately from making a decision. It may cause a bump in the road, But ultimately, in the end, you still have the power and the control to make a decision one way or the other. You have that power. And so what happens? What happens when we're trying to make decisions? Well, we worry. We worry. And worry is a state of mind, and it's a state of mind that is based on our fears. We talked about this yesterday. Our fears, if we allow it, hold power over us. And so what ends up happening is this worry is essentially fostered by indecision. I want you to think of a time. I want you to think of a time when you needed to make a decision, when you were forced or when you were faced with a decision that needed to be made. Picture that in your mind. Picture the feelings that were around it, the importance, the heaviness maybe that you felt. I bet you were worried. If you were worried, say yes in the comments below. I bet you tried to figure out all the possible scenarios. You tried to think of what if this, what if that, A, B, C, D. If you did that, drop yes in the comments below. Were you stressed? Did you feel tension? Were you moody? Maybe you snapped at your loved ones. If you remain in an ambivalent state where you do not make a decision one way or the other, you will create a state of being unproductive. Unproductivity. You will remain stagnant. You won't be able to move forward. And all those feelings that we discussed, all of those scenarios and those situations, you will remain in that. So imagine yourself staying in this state, all because of indecision. All because you're allowing your worries and your fears to take hold and to take power. So now I want you to think, what happens when you make a decision? Maybe it's that same situation and you made a decision. Or maybe you can think of another time where you were faced with a situation where a decision needed to be made and you made it. How did you feel after you made that decision? I bet all of the above that we just talked about disappeared. I bet you maybe felt elated. Maybe you felt like a weight was lifted off of your shoulders. If you can relate to that, drop yes in the comments below. So can you see how the power in decision making can have such a profound effect? It can have an effect on your physicality. It can have an effect on your emotions, on how you behave, on how you approach things. Yes, I know, Jordana, when I had been faced with decisions and then I finally made that decision, I definitely felt lighter. You feel that pressure being released. You're surrendering and you're giving in and you're letting go. It's a wonderful feeling. And so the reason this happens is because an unsettled mind is helpless. An unsettled mind is helpless. And indecision causes an unsettled mind. And this breeds worryitis. This is something that Napoleon Hill discusses, this concept of worryitis. He talks about it in Think and Grow Rich. Phenomenal book, by the way. If you have not read it, would highly encourage you to do so. So worry breeds ambivalence, and ambivalence breeds indecision. And then it becomes a vicious cycle. and you continue in that negative state that we highlighted. So what do you think underlies all of this? You guessed it, your self-image. Someone who shows up confidently in the world does not have a hard time making decisions. Not at all. If you study the behavior of successful CEOs, business owners, global leaders, you will see that they all had one thing in common, and that is the ability to make decisions. And they make these decisions confidently because they have a strong self-image and they have a strong sense of belief in themselves and in their abilities. They don't question, they don't second guess, they don't doubt. They may take in the opinions and the guidance of others, but they will only entertain those opinions and the guidance that supports what they feel in their heart is the right decision. It's really important to acknowledge that and to recognize that. All of your fears are translated into this state of mind of worry. Thank you, SG. So all of your fears. And this is caused by indecision. It's all interrelated. So therefore, it is a state of mind that only you have control over. I said that in the beginning and I'll say it again. Repetition, repetition, until it ingrains in your mind. You have power and control over this. If you eliminate the habit of worry, you eliminate the habit of worry by making a decision. That's how you eliminate it, because once we have reached a decision, we will then follow a definite plan of action. We will then know where we need to go. We may not know the how, but we'll know where we're headed. And our mind won't be unsettled any longer because we will have this certainty and it'll be clear. Decision-making brings order to your mind. It brings order. Imagine how wonderful that order feels in comparison to ruminating and to worrying and circling down a drain of negativity. And then what happens? If you have an ordered mind, this shows up in the world. It shows up in your relationships. It shows up in your experiences with other people, with your career. If your mind is orderly, it will show up in the world. Because the bottom line is decision-making is not something that you can avoid. You cannot avoid it. It's unavoidable. And the longer you try to avoid it, the longer you will remain in this state of unsettledness. The longer you will remain in this state of circling down the drain. The longer you will remain in worryitis. And then what you're doing is you're giving power to your fears. You're giving power to your anxieties. And you're not taking back that power. Bob Proctor explains that when you make a decision or when you establish a goal, you need to ask yourself these questions. Am I able? Well, yes. All of us are able. All of us have the capabilities and the abilities. So the real question is, am I willing? And this is different. This is different than am I able? Because if you are willing, that means that you are willing to do whatever is required to go after your decision and to go after your goal. Anybody can be able, but if they don't have the willingness, they will not move forward. It's very powerful once you recognize this and once you integrate it into your life. My mentor also explains this really, really well. She says that when you're looking at making a decision, are you coming from a place of how can I rather than I can't? How powerful is that? Because I can think of many times in my past where I had a decision that I needed to make, and I started coming up with all the scenarios of why it would not be possible. If this is something that you ever struggled with, let me know in the comments, where you just came up with all the scenarios of why you can't. And so you need to flip that. If you're faced with a decision, you need to go at it with how can I? How can I? And so are you interested, or are you committed? So are you simply interested in this decision? Are you simply interested in whatever goal you're trying to obtain? Or are you 100% committed to making this decision and making it happen? Yes, Dominica, you need to be committed, because if you're interested, you're just going to do what's convenient for you. You're not going to push yourself, and you're going to be in the state where you're just wishing, you're hoping it'll happen, but you may make statements, well, if it doesn't happen, that's okay. That to me just tells me that you're interested. But if you are committed, if you're 110% committed to achieving the goals that you want to achieve, then you will make those decisions. You will do whatever it takes to reach your dreams. And then the beautiful thing is that once you make that decision, you will find that all the resources, all the people, all the time, those excuses that you used to tell yourself, all of that will become available to you once you make that decision. Thomas Edison said that if we do all the things that we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. So why don't we astound ourselves? Why don't we astound ourselves every single day by making these decisions, by being committed, by going after our dreams? Because we would astound ourselves if we did everything that we were capable of doing. And so I myself made the decision less than 6 months ago to reinvest back into myself. I was scared. I was beyond scared. It was what I thought at the time, because of my mindset, a really large monetary investment. And so that really worried me. I have a family. I have 2 little kids. You know, you never know. You start to think, what if my job's not secure? What if I fail? You start to think of all those things. And so I was worried, hands down. But I trusted my gut. I trusted my intuition, and I jumped in. And I have been immersed in the teachings of Bob Proctor through the highly, highly esteemed program, Thinking into Results. And it has altered my mind. It's altered my mind. And I'll tell you, when I first joined, I had doubts. I had doubts whether this would work, but that was because I was coming from my old paradigms, my old beliefs. I had been schooled as a social worker, and I thought I had a pretty good handle on mindset, but I was wrong. I was wrong. I stand here today and I tell you that I was humbled. I've been humbled because I was wrong. I would not be here in this moment with all of you launching a successful coaching career had I not taken that leap of faith less than 6 months ago. It astounds me. I would not be here. And now I have been blessed with the opportunity to bring this sought after leadership program to you, to each and every one of you through my Be a Diamond coaching program as a thinking into results facilitator. I am so honored and excited. I have partnered with the Diamond Academy and my coach, my mentor, Kathleen Cameron. She is one of Bob Proctor's top coaches globally. And I am one of the first TIR, Thinking into Results, facilitators. I am so excited. This is phenomenal that I have been afforded this opportunity to bring the program that has changed my life and to share it with each and every one of you, because my purpose is to help you achieve your endless potential, to astound yourselves. And so my first announcement, my very first announcement, well, that was my first announcement, but tied in with that is that Kathleen is going to be interviewed live here in this group tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You do not want to miss this interview. She has used this material and she has earned a 7-figure income in less than 7 months. This material is life-changing, so you will not want to miss this. There's going to be a post here in the group later today where you can drop any and all questions that you want me to ask her. You do not want to pass up this opportunity in understanding and learning about the knowledge that she has. I'm really excited about all of this. So be sure to look for that post where you can drop your questions. And so in honor of all of this, in honor of becoming a Thinking into Results facilitator, I have an amazing offer for each and every one of you. You will get within this program 6 months of weekly group coaching facilitated by myself. You will also get a monthly group coaching facilitated and supported by Kathleen herself. You will get the Magic in Your Mind course through the Proctor Gallagher Institute, which is a $500 USD value. You will get that for free. You will get access to a private and intimate Facebook community where it'll be specific with all additional programs, all additional resources specific to this program, and support from all the other individuals who are striving to uncover their infinite potential. You're going to get lifetime access to this material. You're going to get a digital participant guide, which walks you through the material, gives you worksheets that I guarantee if you follow this program, you will see significant and massive shifts in your life. And you will get a mastermind once you're 3 months in to this program. Masterminds are powerful. There's a lot of really phenomenal work that happens in a mastermind. You're going to get so much more on top of that. So all of this, for someone who is just starting, this program is $6,800. So because I am starting in this, I am going to provide it at $500 discounted. So you will be able to access all of this and so much more for $6,300. This is phenomenal. Knowing what I know now, I would pay this 10 times over because of how strongly I feel, of how strongly it shifts your mindset. And so you thought I was done. But on top of all of that, I have another really, really special gift for all of you. Some of you may have seen in my social media that yesterday I was fortunate enough to be in a very exclusive and intimate private training with Bob Proctor. It was one of the most phenomenal experiences in my entire life. And my vibration and my energy is still riding high. 1.5 hours of training by Bob Proctor himself. People spend thousands of dollars to receive training by this man. So for those of you who will jump in on this limited time offer, I am going to provide an additional training where I am going to share all of the knowledge that I obtained from this training with Bob Proctor. It doesn't get any better than this. And so this is a limited time promotion. All of this will end on Tuesday, midnight Eastern Standard Time. And so if you have been watching me, or maybe you're new, maybe you're familiar with the Thinking into Results program. I hope you're familiar with Bob Proctor. There has never been a better time to invest in yourself. There's never been a better time to jump in and to take advantage of a phenomenal offer. Because it won't happen again. And so what I want to leave with all of you is an excerpt from Neville Goddard. He says, "Desire is the mainspring of action. When we break a habit, our desire to break it is greater than our desire to continue in this habit. To desire a state is to have it. By assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled and then living and acting on this conviction alters your future in harmony with your assumption. You would not have sought it had you not already found it." So it's now. If this is something that you desire for yourself, if you want the changes, if you want the support, if you want to break your old habits, you need to move forward. I am a firm believer that the universe provides for a reason. You have found yourself here in this training for a greater reason that maybe you and I don't even fully understand. And so your time is now. So what I would say to each and every one of you, if you are ready right now to make this decision, drop decision in the comments below. If you feel you need a conversation, drop breakthrough for the breakthrough activation calls. Make yourself a priority because your time is now. And I am here to help change lives. I am here to help you to recognize your potential so that you can step into your greatness. So let's see decision. Let's see breakthrough. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live interview with the Kathleen Cameron. Thank you, appreciate you.